a chance gone for Morocco. Play will get back underway when Bino Mundi starts the free kick, but they're all watching the referee. Every eye in this venue is watching the referee. Whistle in the mouth, and Mundi kicks it forward. Vincent Kabore signals the end of a tie. It's a brave, bold, beautiful day for Kenya. The Harambee Stars, on their tournament debut, have beaten the most successful team in the tournament, the two-time champions Morocco. They go top of the group with 7 points and have 1 foot into the knockout stages. It's been a masterful display. It's been a story of resilience. It's been absolutely exceptional to watch. Ryan Orgum with the decisive moment in the game on 42 minutes with a left boot, past 6 Moroccan players with precision to find Kenya's goal, the only goal of the game. That's how it finishes. Kenya 1, Morocco 0. There is delirium and pandemonium here in Nairobi. The streets were humming with anticipation, but they're absolutely buzzing with delight now. Tariq Sikdiri and his Morocco side defeated for the first time in 15 games at an African Nations Championship. Morocco are undone. But every Kenyan player can put their hand up. Every squad member, the commitment was unparalleled.
The Atlas Lions of Morocco rode back into life in their third Group A match after evading the Copper Bullets of Zambia to beat them 3-1 at the Nyayo National Stadium and revive their hopes of a quarter-final place in the 2024 African Nations Championship, with the last group match against DRC Congo set to be a decisive showdown.
A long ball into the area. This one brought down. This time round, Mwanza can't stop it. It's a hard one from just near there, and it goes into the net. And Morocco will be the first team to celebrate. The defense will blame itself. They kept the formation. They pushed all the balls out of the area. Sektui can relax now. But ultimately, it was too much for the goalkeeper as well. And the defenders just watching. Nicely brought back into the area, and no doubt about where it was going. The man who set up Riahi to score a goal against Angola has now scored one by himself. It's Rabi Rimata with a clinical finish that puts the ball into the net for the first goal in this game. Yes, 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 he needed to be thankful. Yeah, that's what caused the injury altogether on Mohamed Rabi Rimat, the scorer of the Morocco goal. With Matthews Banda going for the ball and actually getting it, but that resultant clash there, almost on a body check, has left Rimat worse than Banda. Avram Grant says, look, go through the center and just permeate there. going to be another throw-in that will be a big one by Matthews Banda. Then Kana, Red Devils, physical player, is the one going to take it. Lobs it right into the box. The header! Zambia get to level the scores. And a backflip as well. To celebrate it from Hapin Siku. And this will change things a little bit here. Oh, the fans so firmly behind the Zambian side at the Nyayo National Stadium. The throw-in is a big one. Hapin Siku rises above everybody else to put his head to it and levels a score for the Zambian side. Well, you would have thought that the Zambian side is playing at home, certainly, with the kind of support they're getting at the Nyayo National Stadium. Well, Zambia swing themselves back into this game. This is going to be a foul. But they're not yet through with celebrating their goal. Well, just rising over everybody else in that defense and putting his head to that ball. The man who played 4 matches at the AFCON under-20 and who was previously at the Green Buffaloes will be the toast of the Zambian side, but I don't think then it is going to stand. So the celebration has been cut short altogether. Well, Morocco then rally to increase the lead here. Well, much to the chagrin of Owen Tebo, Morocco back to the winning ways. Well, that tackle, or that clearance leaves him a little bit on the ground. Well, Sama Lamlui knows that his header there has confidently put the Moroccan side back to the leading way. Zambia have a goal here. As we were talking about the other side, Zambia come back into the game, pulling one back from a header. Oh, the defense will blame themselves, not knowing exactly what happened. And coming against the round of play, Avram Grant on his feet now. It came from the left side of the attack, lobbed deep into the area, and Hapin Siku hands it back. Ultimately, Chongo Kabaso got onto it. Nicely brought back by Hapin Siku for Chongo Kabaso. And Zambia certainly will be happy that at least they've scored a goal in this one and pulled one back as well. Oh, it will actually probably be celebrated more by Andrew Phiri than even Chongo Kabaso himself. Yes, because he was right there after the header and after the defender had pushed it back. And what more could you put in a football match? The drama on the field and off the field as well. The coach's reactions as well, with Sek Tui at one time thinking that it was all lost, and suddenly getting the inspiration back to issue instructions. Avram Grant for the first time getting on his feet and pacing up and down, Here comes Morocco again. They've got one man on the left side. They push it into the middle. Oh, this was going to be a classic finish, and it is. It's Mourinho, the new man who's just come into the game a few minutes ago. Sabir Mourinho will put this far away from the reach of the Zambian side. They just were not looking at him. And as Osama was striking, Mourinho was lurking right behind him for a rebound after the first stop by Francis Mwanza.
Number 11, Yunus. Number 10.
It is Sabir Mourinho who puts the ball in the net. Well, the celebration is a toast for the new substitute. 29 years old. He's played for the Belgium under 19 before switching to play for the national team of the Moroccan side. And he's on target. Scoreline changes in favor of Morocco 3 and Zambia 1.
Two-time champions Morocco made sure they finished a second in Group A after caging another two-time champions, the Leopards of DR Congo, by 3-1 at Nyayo National Stadium to set a last 8 place against co-host Tanzania in Dar es Salaam.
Marwan Luadni. Madriahi picking it up in the midfield, but it doesn't keep his footing. Well, the captain will chase this one right up to the line, salvages it for the side. Rabi, the man who set up Riahi. To score a goal again, a good setup on the left side, and the cross and a little touch that puts Morocco on top at the moment, and it's the assassin Osama Lamloui. What an early goal for the Moroccan side. Osama Lamloui gets onto the target on a move that starts from behind, gets into the midfield, and then a good run brings it back to the flanks. It was a chip for Youssef Belhamri. He touches it. Lamloui knows that he doesn't need to use too much energy on that. It's just a touch to deflect the ball away from the goalkeeper. Not enough to bang it on the goalkeeper. Just a little touch away from the defender and from the goalkeeper as well. This is going to be a well-celebrated goal for just the technical and clinical finish. Believes in himself, this youngster, and can take on defenders as well. Mubalu veers off towards the center, chips a very nice one towards the area. Congo have put in the goal through Jepte Kitabala. And Congo level the scores at the Nyayo National Stadium. And this roar could as well be heard as far as Kinshasa from Nairobi. Matobo brings it in. Chepche Kitambala gets to the end of it. You must credit the spade work that has been done by Matobo. And the defensive blunder in trying to clear it that came from a nudge bunch. Seems to have gotten the better of him, and I think a body check as well. But he bangs himself into Kalonji, so I could look at it the other way around then, that Kalonji is in the momentum. But Sekchu is looking at it totally differently. And I think the referee has only stopped play because the player is on the ground. Not for any check at all. Oh, it's going to go for a VAR check then. They're going to review it to see whether or not it was a goal-scoring opportunity that was denied. An obvious goal-scoring opportunity. No need to tell you that that's a little prayer by Sektui. So he'll look at it again. It'll be shown to him. Here is a tackle. It comes from behind. And Malouane Kalonji totally misses the ball there. He's in the motion as well and bangs onto Khalid Baba, the second half substitute. And so after review, then the referee, Osman Diakate, will have to make a decision on that, whether it's a foul or not and whether it's a penalty or not, because it is in the box that it happens. Always very tense moments when the VAR check is being done. In those four very important incidences that we have seen, whether it's a goal or not, whether it's an obvious goal-scoring opportunity, whether it is cards that need to be given, all eyes on the referee now, who says that a VAR check, it's a penalty. And some of the things that the naked eye would miss in a game, or some of the things that would be interpreted emotionally, are technically determined by the video assistant referee. There is Toma Bongile from the Republic of South Africa there, and Karin Ajambong of Cameroon, and who have determined that this is a penalty and a chance for Morocco to take the lead in this game. We talked about the 65th minute towards the 70th minute of the game, where concentration is lost. And the only thing we didn't talk about is the fact that also you get some nasty, sometimes unnecessary tackles coming into this game as well. Any game that is. And it looks like it's being left to the captain, Mohamed Rabi, to go for it himself. With Brudel Fonge Liyongo on the other side. He already made crucial saves versus Angola, but Rimad also made some very good assists and actually has a goal to his credit as well. Rimad, the captain, versus Efonge Liyongo. And this one is in the net by Rimad from the penalty spot. After a review on the VAR, Morocco will take the lead in this very, very crucial tie that is serving as a knockout tie, a tiebreaker for a quarterfinal place for the two most successful teams in the African Nations Championships. Well, the goalkeeper goes the right way, but it's put so far from him that it couldn't be elastic enough to get to it. It stretches right onto the other side, and Rimat will celebrate this one. Attempts a shot on his second touch on the ball here as Al Harar will take the goal kick. And just as suddenly as the drizzle came down, it's gone off again. with Yosef Mary out on the right side, bringing it across from the center. They love to score from there. It's a popular place from which they take the shots. And this one, perfectly done as well. What a goal for Morocco! Oh, Lamloui gets himself on target and loves to position himself perfectly for those retired balls. Stays back and waits for the 45 and cannot miss from that distance. He's got all the places to work with. Osama Lamloui with a second goal in today's game and his third one for Morocco. Defensive lapses. The goalkeeper on the other side totally uncovered as well. Lamloui is all alone in that box by the time he receives the feed that comes from the right side from Mary. Here are the standings. Kenya 10 with a +3 goal difference. Morocco qualifies with 3 points that they have picked up here and a massive number of goals as well that they add to their tally, 5 in total. Congo Democratic Republic will end up third in the group with 6 points and only a +1 goal difference.
Rousing stuff, thunderous cheer here at the Benjamin Mkapa National Stadium as the two sets of players get acquainted.
Two-time champions Morocco silence a co-host Tanzania in front of their home fans with a 1-0 victory in the other quarter-final match in Dar es Salaam, thanks to Osama Lamloui's strike that brought Taifa Stars a fairy tale run to a stop.
Tanzania in front of their home fans having the tournament of their dreams. As it's worked out here to Edinado. This is where he excels. Well, he stung the palms of the goalkeeper, and he knows he would have been better served cutting it back a little further. Now Morocco with Mehri's. Nutmegs Mzize. As responds to that humiliation by dragging down the Moroccan winger. Remarkably, just 2 wins across their previous 6 games combined coming into this tournament, and already 3 at this year's finals. Working hard to try and make it 4 against the 2-time winners. One of only 2 winners that made it through to the last 8 of this competition. Senegal, the incumbent champs. The only other former winners present in the quarterfinals. That's a delightful ball played across to Lamloui. Opens the scoring for Morocco. That's 4 goals in 3 matches. And a hush blankets the Benjamin Mkapa National Stadium. Stunned silence around the stands as Tanzania, for the first time at this tournament, find themselves behind. Threaded through expertly, and then Lamloui on hand to convert. And a cross from Yusuf Balamari. And he now stands alone as the leading scorer at this competition. And the final whistle goes. It's a fiery end to a match in which Morocco emerged victorious. All it took was one goal from the tournament's leading scorer, Osama Lamloui, who's netted 4 times in his last 3 outings.
Congo kicked off their 5th CHAN campaign with a 1-1 draw against Sudan in their opening Group D match at Aman Stadium in Zanzibar. Musa Hussein put the Sudanese in the scoresheet first before it was cancelled by DR Congo.
Gideon Nongo has lost possession. Now good run on the right side for Sudan with a perfect chance in front of the goalkeeper who has a touch on the ball. Here is the last kick coming in and another hard one that puts the ball in the net. And Sudan opened the score here at the Aman Stadium. And they have a celebration as well that they have crafted. This comes on the foot of Musa Hussein and Musa Ali. Talk about just being patient and waiting and taking the chance when they find it. Long ball onto the right side. They finally hit the Congolese side on the counter-attack. The shot at the second try puts the ball into the net. The initial shot having been blocked by the captain, Berangay Tua. But the 18-year-old Musa Hussein Musa, who plays for Erick, could not be stopped at just that fast shot. And it's going to be a throw-in. It's going to be for Congo. They have 5 minutes in regular time to change the course of this game and to announce themselves into the Group D, to say whether they have intentions of moving forward in this group that has been dubbed the group of challengers and champions, because they've got Senegal and they've got Nigeria in this group. And the statistics for Senegal and Nigeria are really favorable. Here comes Congo with a chance for a left foot shot. Here it is there. They change the statistics here. In the 86th minute of the game, quite unexpectedly, as the Sudan side was settling down into being the leaders, Congo launches onto a little bit of a touch in the box that comes in his direction. And the AS Kenido man puts the ball into the net. Oh yes, he makes the Congolese side a happy side. Coach Barthelemy suddenly regains his composure. The first attempt was going to come from Japhet Manku, but he delayed with that turn, didn't put his left foot into it. That clearance lands onto the feet of Kali Ekongo Ladu. And Congo does not make a mistake with it. It's 1-1 at the Aman Stadium in Zanzibar.
The African Nations Championship continued with these shocking revelations of its 8th edition, and this time around it was Sudan who stole the headlines with a shocker 4-0 defeat of Nigeria to rule them out of contention of a quarter-final place following their opening Group D defeat by Senegal.
Musa Hussein Kanti, feet in, it's clear at the back post, the header was there, it's an own goal from Ngenge. Pressure from Sudan is told immediately after Nigeria have a goal disallowed. Sudan go up the other end and score. Abdul Razik, the player of the match in the 1-1 draw against Congo, gets to celebrate. He struck the frame, but it's an own goal by Ngenge that gifts the Sudanese Falcons of Gideon the lead. They took the lead against Congo, they've taken the lead against Nigeria. It is a couple of minutes of absolute drama here in Zanzibar. Musa Hussein Kanti with a deep probing ball that beats Ngenge in the air. Abdul Razik then hits the woodwork, it rebounds kindly. And the Nigerian defender unwittingly puts the ball into the back of his own net in trying to head it clear. Nothing that Lawal Mustafa could do about that. Was there a handball? Penalty is going to be called. There it is. Nigeria feel aggrieved, frustrated. Lawal Mustafa, his reaction, but the referee had very little option other than to signal penalty. Ball came floating into the area and clearly struck an outstretched arm. Getting up. Nduka was there to clear it, just loses his balance slightly, I think. Maybe some contact with Tuchukwu ahead of him. Either way, Ngenge, who scored the own goal, has now conceded the penalty. And a most unfortunate night for a player. And Walildin Khadir, the 29-year-old from Al Hilal, wearing the captain's armband today, who scored his first ever international goal against Nigeria in a Group D defeat at the 2021 Africa Cup of Nations, has a chance to score against Nigeria again. Walildin goes good, and he has another goal against Nigeria. This time it's in the African Nations Championship, and it's to give Sudan a 2-goal advantage mere minutes before half-time. Walildin Khadir strikes clean, strikes true from the penalty mark, beats Lawal Mustafa from 12 yards out. And what you didn't get an opportunity to see was that immediately after the penalty was converted by the Sudanese captain, Lawal Mustafa showed his leadership qualities. Adil, Ali Abdallah, two players waiting. Musa Hussein Kanti looks for the square ball. Abdul Razik might get a second chance here and buries it. Sudan go 3 in front. 10 minutes into the second half and Sudan are flying. It's been an own goal, a penalty, but finally the open play goal has come. The man that possibly deserved a goal against Congo gets his reward against Nigeria. Player of the match on match day 1 has sent Sudan into a very confident lead in the second half of this Group D fixture. Abdelrazak regained his footing after a little slip, and having wrong-footed a handful of defenders, picked his spot and finished with precision. Abdelrazak Yaqub of Al Hilal, 10 minutes into the second half. Delivery. Abdelrazak off the underside of the woodwork and cannoned in. Abdelrazak has another, and this one is a stunner. The home Eagles have had their wings clipped here, and Sudan are absolutely flying. Abdelrazak Yaqub has 2 in the second half. Sudan have 4 in the game and are poised to inflict the greatest ever defeat on Nigeria in the African Nations Championship. Not cleared by Magno. On the volley, it's an absolute stunner. Wonderful technique, splendid finish, scintillating result. Today's results mean Nigeria avoid bottom spot in Group D. They have beaten Congo by 2-0, scoring their first goals of the tournament. And that means that Nigeria finished third, Congo finished bottom of the group with 2 draws. They have 2 points. Sudan finished top of the group courtesy of their goalless draw against Senegal, who advanced as well to the knockout stages. There's confirmation of the group as it stands. Sudan and Senegal both advanced. Nigeria third, Congo fourth. In a very tightly contested Group D. And it was blown wide open by Sudan's magnificent 4-0 result against Nigeria on match day 2.
The Falcons of Jedian of Sudan, a pursuit for glory, continued after evading the Phoenix of Algeria, whom they left gazing at the skies in the quarterfinals of CHAN Pamoja 2024 after a penalty shootout that saw them triumph 4-2 after a 1-0 draw in extra time to set up a semi-final match against the Barriers of Madagascar at the Benjamin Mkapa Stadium.
To his goalkeeper, Alfaya. Zakaria Draoui. 31-year-old born in the same day. He's played most of his career in Algeria. Oh, given away cheaply here. Slid towards goal, and on the follow-up, it's been turned in. It's a scrappy goal, but it counts nonetheless. Oh, it's absolute calamity at the back for Algeria. Gave it away so cheaply and just could not recover from that moment. Now it's a blind pass played. It might go down as a Ghezala own goal. It was hitting on target, so it will be interesting to see how they rule. In fact, I don't think there is a touch from Abdulrazak Omer. So Ghazala is the last touch, but it's a teammate who turns it towards goal. Can he provide the spark here? Oh, it's a brilliant little return ball. He's dinked it towards goal, and it's created an opportunity. Turned in! Algeria have their leveler. Bayezid off the bench. Well, it's the only Algerian player who had scored more than once coming into this quarter-final. And there is an inquisition now. That's clearly onside. Oh, the only claim they can make here, the only case they can make, is whether the goalkeeper had two hands on that, which does not appear to be the case. Now, has he handled that? That, I think, is the question now. Some gamesmanship from Bouhalfaya as he shuffles across his line, back and forth. Kadir, unperturbed, puts it away. Mayos yet to open his account at this tournament. Missed in the shootout in the final. And Mayos makes no mistake this time around. He is a competent taker, and he is leveled up the score here as Saeed rolls it home, calm as you like. Here's the man who forced extra time. Bayezid, Algeria's top goal scorer at this tournament. Makes it 2-all. Now, Ahmed Abdul Munim Yusuf, better known as Ahmed Tabanja. Shuffles up and brilliantly dispatches it into the bottom corner. Two Sudan leads. Here comes Merhem for Algeria's third kick. Oh, Merhem's been denied! And perhaps the jeers from Mohamed Abuja. Sudan lead in the shootout. 3-2 after 3 kicks apiece. Has denied Sawad Bushara. Make it 3-all. Draoui scored in the shootout in the previous edition's final, sees his penalty saved as well. Abuja emerging as the hero. It has been checked. So this to win it. A man who terrorized the Algerian defense for 120 minutes. A man who'd seen only 50 minutes of action before this evening. Can he hold his nerve? Cool as ice, sends Sudan to the semi-finals.
It has been the most memorable Chana Pamoja 2024, and that's the spirit in East Africa, but it was a painful, heartbreaking exit for the co-hosts, that is Tanzania, Kenya, and Uganda. They were known as the dark horses, but they proved their word to make their statement in Mama Africa, in the continents of football. You must be proud of your team because there's a lot at stake, and we also have AFCON 2027 coming up. But anyway, back to the last four, we have the defending champions, Senegal, determined to go all the way and defend their crown to get 2 titles, just as Morocco did. And Morocco will be there. Of course, the 2-time champions, the Atlas Lions, will be baying for their blood. It is known as the fight of the 2 lions. They are going to roll all of them, but who will make it in the fight of the heavyweight? Only time will tell. We have the other semi-final clash between dark horses. They call them the minnows, but I call them the pride of the continent still. That is Madagascar and Sekafa representatives, Sudan. Who will have the last laugh? Only time will tell, but you can watch all these on KBC Channel 1 as we go back to how they made it happen in the most heartbreaking encounters for the co-host. Opening Group B clash between Madagascar and Mauritania failed to produce goals, but they at least shared a point from their Bahrain draw in Dar es Salaam, where the Barriers captain saw the red and their keeper Ramandiboza saved the day.
Piano over this free kick. Bessem. Madagascar trying to scramble back as Mauritania get forward. Toldo off his line, does exceptionally well. It's yet another offside. But again, we'll reiterate, They have to see how the play will develop, just in case they haven't read it correctly. I think Mahmoud, had he stuck that away after a VAR check, it would have stood. It did appear to be onside.
It was total jubilation in Tanzania when Taifa Stars reached the quarterfinals of the African Nations Championship for the first time in their history with a 2-1 defeat of Madagascar thanks to Clement Mzize's brace in Dar es Salaam.
Was Clement Mzize, I think, arriving from deep. Feitoto, they're piling on the pressure here. Edinado's ball in. It's still not away. Now the referee ruling in favor of Madagascar. Baka. Feitoto. Edinado. Gets the ball to the edge of the area. Oh, cushioned against the upright and then turned home by Clement Mzize. The unrelenting pressure from Tanzania pays dividends. Ahmed Suleiman's decision to stick with the tried and tested outfit seems to have come good early here too. Edinado using Hussein Mohammed as a decoy, and Mutai Yaya struck the ball so firmly onto the uprights. It rebounded into the path of Clement Mzize. Toldo readies himself. Faisal Salum puts it into a great area. And they have their second. Well, on a night where he's the man to break the deadlock, he comes up with another. Clement Mzize is running the show here. Showing a phenomenal burst of pace to free himself from his marker. And then great instinctual finishing. Opens his instep to turn it past Toldo at the near post. Wins another one in the air. And again. It's the timing of his leap that's so impressive. This looks better for Madagascar. They fold one back. Well, they have life once again as they become the first side to breach the defense of Tanzania. The man drafted in to replace their influential captain. Gregas with the tidy finish. And all of a sudden, with Tanzania having looked in complete control,
The Barriers of Madagascar determination to register their first win in CHAN Pamoja 2024 finally bore fruit against the wild beasts of Central African Republic, whom they dispatched back to their hotel without a single bite to start making travel arrangements back home after they beat them 2-0 in Dar es Salaam to keep their hopes alive of a quarter-final place in the ongoing championship.
Full senior team coach, former captain Enza Yamisi Iloj. He's at the tournament, watching on, assessing things, says, here's a chance here for Madagascar, who finally find the back of the net. They've given themselves life in this tournament. The substitute comes good through on Tukiniana in the closing stages of the game. And there he was to pounce. Niana started the previous match against Tanzania. Yeah. Oh, and hit in. There it is. Now they've wrapped it up. The liner who scored against the qualifying a few months back.
Honorable Senators, ladies and gentlemen, having dispensed with the pre-hearing meeting of the Senators, which was a closed-door session, it is now time to commence the proceedings on the proposed removal from office by impeachment of Honorable Erick Mutai, the Governor of Kericho County. By a letter dated the 15th of August 2025, the Speaker of the Kericho County Assembly informed the Speaker of the Senate that at the sitting of the Kericho County Assembly held on the 15th of August 2025, the County Assembly of Kericho approved a motion for the removal from office by impeachment of Honorable Erick Mutai, the Governor of Kericho County. Senator Manzo, and you may take your rightful seat, Senator Manzo. The Speaker of the County Assembly of Kericho also forwarded the following documents to the Senate, being the record of proceedings of the County Assembly and the evidence adduced in support of the impeachment motion. These are: 1, a copy of an approved notice of motion dated the 16th of August 2025 and laid on the table of the Assembly on Wednesday, 6th of August 2025, the afternoon session. 2, certified copy of a list of members with signatures in support of a motion for removal from the Kericho County Governor by impeachment dated the 6th of August 2025. Order papers for the Assembly sittings of Wednesday, 6th of August 2025, afternoon sitting, and Friday, 15th of August 2025, special sitting. A copy of the Gazette notice for the special sitting of Friday, 15th of August 2025. Certified Hansard reports for the Assembly sittings of Wednesday, 6th of August 2025, afternoon sitting, and Friday, 15th of August 2025, special sitting. Copies of letters dated the 6th and 13th of August 2025, reference number KCA/SP/3 volume 1 into brackets 37, and KCA/SP/3 volume 1 into brackets 38, respectively, inviting the Governor of Kericho County to respond to the tabled impeachment motion. Copy of an affidavit of service by Mrs. Sharon Chemngetich Mibei, serving His Excellency the Governor of Kericho County, with an invitation letter and a copy of a laid notice of impeachment motion, together with evidence and another letter for supplementary evidence and memorandum on public participation and Gazette notice on behalf of the Speaker, County Assembly of Kericho. Certified copy of electronic voting extracts, 33 votes, on a motion for the impeachment of His Excellency the Governor of Kericho County, held during the Assembly sitting of Friday, the 15th of August 2025. Documents tabled during the debate on the motion for removal of the Governor of Kericho County by impeachment, which are the payment vouchers for Lands, Housing and Physical Planning Department made to Denby Holdings Limited, Debral Ventures Limited, and Cranby Group. 2, payment vouchers for the Agriculture, Livestock and Cooperative Management Department made to Deju Enterprise Limited, Leary Enterprise Limited, and Mabsa General Supplies Limited. ASAC Technologies Limited, Kenda's Company, and Joely Group Limited. A procurement plan and a memorandum for supply and delivery of assorted office stationaries. Payment vouchers for Public Works, Roads and Transport Department made to the following: Simron Construction Company Limited and Real Supplies Limited at Tonkila General Supplies. Payment vouchers for Finance and Economic Planning Department made to the following: Allocraft Voucher, Loreki Limited, Daki Limited, French Focus Limited, Jomax Holding Limited, and Benlock Ventures Limited. F, payment vouchers for Health Services Department made to the following: Afroscape Limited and Slick Solutions Limited. Payment vouchers for water, energy, environment and forestry and natural resources made to the following: Jebema Construction Supply and Rowley Ventures Limited. Report on the pending bills by Committee on Ad Hoc. Report by the Committee on Water and Environment on FLOCA projects. NVCDP report by the Committee on Agriculture, Livestock and Fisheries. Ad Hoc Committee report on Kazi Mutani. Report by the Department of Finance and Economic Planning, Strategic Intervention Phase 2, and 2 photos and 4 affidavits, 1 judgment and 1 ruling. Ad Hoc Committee report on Londiani incident, Auditor General's report, correspondence between the Governor and the Speaker dated the 20th of August 2024 and 3rd of September 2024, certified copy of a list of members with signatures in support of a motion for removal of the Kericho County Governor. I think I've gone back to that. R, advertisement for vacancies by County Public Service Board, an internal memo on redeployment of staff under the Health Service Department, a Facebook extract, and letters of termination. Ad hoc committee report on alleged fictitious payment, voucher for Megro Products Limited retention, other companies that were paid retention money, evidence of public participation. That is an extract of the standard newspaper advertisement for public participation on notice of motion for removal of Dr. Erick Mutai, the governor of the county government of Kericho by impeachment. Number 2, a scanned memorandum and submissions received in response to the notice of motion for removal of Dr. Erick Mutai as governor of Kericho County. Number 3, a public participation register for the collection of memorandum forms, and 4, a report of public participation. Governor's response and volume 1 and 2, Kericho County Assembly standing orders, a flash disk containing video evidence, and 3 transcripts. Now, pursuant to Section 33(3) of the County Governments Act and Standing Order 81A, at a special sitting of the Senate held on Wednesday, the 20th of August 2025, the charges against the governor of Kericho County, as contained in the motion of impeachment by the County Assembly of Kericho, were read out to the assembled Senate. Honorable Senators, ladies and gentlemen, as you are aware, the mandate of the Senate in relation to proposed removal from office by impeachment of a county governor is provided under Article 181 of the Constitution, as read together with Section 33 of the County Governments Act 2012, and Standing Order 80 of the Senate Standing Orders. In particular, Article 181, Senator Mbugua. The chair must be heard in silence. In particular, Article 181 of the Constitution provides as follows. 1, a county governor may be removed from office on any of the following grounds. A, gross violation of this Constitution or any other law. B, where there are serious reasons for believing that a county governor has committed a crime under national or international law. C, abuse of office or gross misconduct. And D, physical or mental incapacity to perform the functions of office of county governor. Number 2, Parliament shall enact legislation providing for the procedure of removal of a county governor or any other grounds mentioned in Clause 1. Section 33 of the County Governments Act 2012, Standing Order 80, and the third schedule to the Senate Standing Orders provide for the procedure to be followed in the hearing and determination of the proposed removal from office by impeachment of a county governor. Specifically, Section 33(3) and Standing Order 81B of the Senate provide that the Senate may, either by resolution, appoint a special committee comprising 11 of its members to investigate the matter or investigate the matter in plenary. Now, honorable senators will recall that at a special sitting of the Senate held on Wednesday, the 20th of August 2025, the motion for the establishment of a special committee was withdrawn pursuant to Standing Order 70 for failure to be seconded. This withdrawal paved the way for a default position, the hearing of the impeachment charges against the governor of Kericho County, to be held in plenary. Now, honorable senators, ladies and gentlemen, by way of a status update, pursuant to Rules 4A and 6 of the Rules of Procedure, when considering the proposed removal of a governor in plenary, the Senate invited the governor to appear and be represented before the Senate during the investigation. The Senate further invited the governor, if he so chooses, to appear before the Senate to file an answer to the charges with the office of the clerk of the Senate by 5 p.m. Monday, 25th of August 2025, setting out the following. The governor's response to the particulars of the allegations. Number 3, the mode of appearance before the Senate, whether in person, by advocate, or in person, and by advocate. Number 3, the names and addresses of the persons to be called as witnesses, if any, and the witness statements containing a summary of the evidence to be presented by such witnesses before the Senate. And 4, any other evidence to be relied on. Honorable Senators, you may walk in and take your seats. Now, honorable senators, pursuant to Rule 4B and 7 of the Rules of Procedure, when considering the proposed removal of a governor or a deputy governor in plenary, the Senate notified the Kericho County Assembly of the date for the commencement of the investigation and invited the County Assembly to designate members of the County Assembly who shall appear and be represented before the Senate during the investigation. The County Assembly was further invited, if it so chooses to appear before the Senate, to file with the Office of the Clerk of the Senate by 5 p.m. Monday, 25th of August, 2025, the following documents. Documentation 1, designating the members of the County Assembly, being not more than 3 members, if any, who shall attend and represent the Assembly in the proceedings before the Senate. Number 3, indicating the mode of appearance before the Senate, whether in person, by advocate, or in person and by advocate. 3, indicating the names and addresses of the persons to be called as witnesses, if any, and witness statements containing a summary of the evidence to be presented by such witnesses before the Senate, and specifying any other evidence to be relied on. Now, honorable senators, ladies and gentlemen, on Monday, the 25th of August, 2025, the Office of the Clerk of the Senate received a response dated the 23rd of August, 2025, to the invitation to appear issued to the governor from Messrs. Katwa and Kemboy advocates, who indicated that the governor had appointed the firm to represent him in the hearing before the Senate. The letter also indicated that the counsel represented the governor and the list of witnesses for the governor. Counsel for the governor also indicated that the governor would appear before the Senate in person and by advocate. Similarly, on Monday, the 25th of August, 2025, the Office of the Clerk of the Senate received a response, reference number H&K, /009, /017, /2025, and dated the 24th of August, 2025, to the invitation to appear issued to the County Assembly of Kericho County from Messrs. H&K Law Advocates, who indicated that the County Assembly of Kericho had appointed the firm to represent the County Assembly in the hearing, and that the County Assembly would also appear in person and by advocates. The letter also indicated the council represent the County Assembly and the list of witnesses for the County Assembly. Now, pursuant to Rule 8 of the Rules of Procedure, when considering the proposed removal of a governor in plenary, the Clerk of the Senate furnished each party with the documentation filed by the other party in accordance with Rule 6 and 7 of the Rules of Procedure. Now, honorable senators, ladies and gentlemen, the hearing program, which has been appended in today's order paper, details the various activities in the hearing and determination of the matter and the time allocated to each activity. It will be crucial, therefore, that all the parties comply with the time allocated. The parties will be notified of the balance of time on each activity through the digital clocks mounted on the clerk's table. In summary, the program states that today, the Wednesday, 27th of August, 2025, after we have dispensed with the preliminary matters, the charges against the governor shall be read. The governor will be given an opportunity to take a plea on each charge. This will be followed by an opening statement by the County Assembly and thereafter by the governor. After the conclusion of the opening statements, the presentation of the case of the County Assembly shall commence and shall not exceed 5 hours. At the sitting scheduled for tomorrow, Thursday, the 28th of August 2025, honorable senators will be given an opportunity to ask questions or seek clarifications from the County Assembly. Thereafter, the governor will have an opportunity to present his case before the Senate. The presentation shall also not exceed 5 hours. Honorable senators will also be given an opportunity to ask questions or seek clarifications from the governor. At the sitting scheduled for Friday, the 29th of August 2025, the closing statements by the parties will be made for a period not exceeding 1 hour each. The Senate shall then proceed to debate prior to voting on each of the charges. At this stage, a supplementary order paper will be issued to facilitate this debate. In accordance with Article 123 of the Constitution, the County Governments Act 2012, and Standing Order 86 of the Senate, the voting by the county delegations, the voting shall be by county delegations. The governor shall cease to hold office if a majority of the county delegations in the Senate vote to uphold an impeachment charge. If, however, the vote in the Senate fails to result in the removal of the governor, pursuant to Standing Order 87, the Speaker of the Senate shall notify the Speaker of the Kericho County Assembly accordingly. Honorable Senators, ladies and gentlemen, I now invite counsel for the County Assembly of Kericho to introduce the legal team of the County Assembly and the members of the County Assembly of Kericho representing the County Assembly by stating the full name and the designation of each person. Counsel for the County Assembly, you may now take to the floor.
Good morning, Honorable Speaker. Good morning, Senators. Good morning, Honorable Mutai, Governor Kericho. For the County Assembly of Kericho, the representation is as follows: Vincent Kiprono, Joel Wahungu, Elvis Kipkorir, Evans Kiblangat, Victor Kibet, Geoffrey Langat, Brian Langat, Hilary Kiblangat, Elias Mutuma, the Sharon Mibey, who is an advocate and also the Deputy Clerk of the County Assembly, Elisha Ongoya, being the lead counsel, and myself, Kimutai Bosek. There is also the following honorable members from the Kericho County Assembly. The mover of the motion, Honorable Kiprotich Rogony. There is also Honorable Albert Kipkoech and Honorable Vincent Korir. Thank you, Honorable Speaker, sir.
And now, similarly, I now invite counsel for the governor to introduce your legal team representing the governor.
Mr. Speaker, sir, honorable senators, Your Excellency the Governor Kericho County, and my colleagues, good morning. With the permission of my senior colleague, I wish to introduce to you the legal team representing the Governor Kericho County. First, I wish to confirm that the Governor Kericho County, Dr. Erick Mutai, is before the House. and the legal team led by Senior Counsel Katwa Kigen, joined by Counsel Peter Wanyama, assisted by myself. My name is Doris Ngeno, and Counsel Wanjiro Thiongo, Counsel Joash Mutai, Counsel Evanson Kirui. That is our legal team. Thank you for the opportunity to appear before this honorable House.
Senator Fernandi, take your seat. Honorable Senators, on behalf of the Senate, I now welcome the team for the County Assembly, the team of the Governor, members of the public and the media to the Senate and to these proceedings. Finally, I now invite the clerk to call the next order and thereafter to read the charges against the Honorable Erick Mutai, the Governor of Kericho County.
Order number 2, reading of the charges on the proposed removal from office by impeachment of the Honorable Erick Mutai, Governor of Kericho County. The Honorable Dr. Erick Kipkoech Mutai, Governor Kericho County, please take the stand. Honorable Dr. Erick Kipkoech Mutai, Governor Kericho County, the charges against you as received from the County Assembly of Kericho are as follows, and I quote, Ground 1, gross violation of the Constitution and other laws, gross violation of the Constitution of the Republic of Kenya 2010, the County Governments Act 2012, the Public Procurement and Asset Disposal Act, the Public Finance Management Act 2012, and Kericho County laws. The particulars of this ground are as follows. Allegation 1, misappropriation and misallocation of county finances. On various occasions since his election as a governor and subsequent assumption of office, the governor has engaged in various acts of gross violation of Articles 10, 183 and 201 of the Constitution, Sections 102 and 109 of the Public Finance Management Act, Cap 412A, and the provisions of the Kericho County Rating Act, number 5 of 2019, as follows. 1. Fictitious payment of works, goods, and services. Between January 2025 and July 2025, the governor engaged in gross violations of Articles 10, 183, 201, 207, and 208 of the Constitution, and Sections 102, 109, and 110 of the Public Finance Management Act 2012, and Section 3, Subsection 3, Section 30, Subsection 3F of the County Governments Act 2012. The governor aided, abetted, and or condoned the fictitious payment of goods, services, and works which were neither delivered nor done, occasioning the county loss of Kenya shillings 85,704,522.90 in A, services which were not rendered and or partially done, for example, the maintenance of 15 residential houses in Kipkelion West Sub-County at a cost of 2.99 million shillings. B, goods not delivered, including soybeans, maize jam, sunflower, seed cake, and cotton seed cake, alleged to have been supplied for Kenya shillings 14,980,640. C, overpriced goods, including sodas, alleged to have been bought for about 500 shillings per 300 milliliter bottle, and a bale of tissue paper, alleged to have been bought for Kenya shillings 2,750 per bale of 10 tissue papers, and a hand towel priced at Kenya shillings 3,600. D. Works, goods and services alleged to have been procured for Kenya shillings 5,172,715.60 from companies including Mengro Products Limited, Hildama Construction and Supplies Limited, Brisac Construction and Supplies Limited, Prospera Ventures Limited, and IBM Pro Construction Limited without any supporting documents. And E. Payment of contractors from the retention account for the works done for more than 5 years ago, some of which companies had already been paid, and therefore misappropriating county funds through double payments. 2. Some of the goods, services, and works were procured without following the procurement processes. No tender opening committees were formed, contrary to Section 78 of the Public Procurement and Asset Disposal Act 2015, as read together with Regulation 25 of the Public Procurement and Asset Disposal Regulations 2020. Similarly, there were no professional opinions done to the accounting officers, contrary to Section 84 of the Public Procurement and Asset Disposal Act 2015. 3. There was deliberate circumvention of competitive tendering of the same goods, services, and works by splitting of contracts to suit the request for quotation method, therefore violating Section 54 of the Public Procurement and Asset Disposal Act 2015, as read together with Regulation 43 of the Public Procurement and Asset Disposal Regulations 2020. 4. Most of the goods, services, and works were procured outside the approved budget as required under Section 44, subsection 2A of the Public Procurement and Asset Disposal Act 2015. 5. The documents used by the departments were not clear and did not bear references to the procurement requirement, provision of dates, especially invoices generated, and signatures of respective officers. There was therefore blatant violation of the provisions of Regulation 68 of the Public Procurement and Asset Disposal Regulations 2020. 6. No market survey was conducted as required under Regulation 43, Subregulation 4 of the Public Procurement and Asset Disposal Regulations 2020. The contractors therefore supplied goods with exorbitant prices, contrary to Section 54, subsection 2 of the Public Procurement and Asset Disposal Act 2015. 7. All of the subject goods, services, and works were paid for in advance, yet the county has accumulated pending bills over the last 3 years of Kenya shillings 1.1 billion, which have been verified and are yet to be paid from the time the governor assumed office. 8. The report of the ad hoc committee on the alleged fictitious payments tabled before the Assembly on 5th of August 2024 made pertinent and damning findings and recommendations that point to the deliberate failure to act, neglect of duty, and even conspiracy on the part of the governor, to wit: A. The documents shared with the ad hoc committee by the departmental heads called to testify were not accompanied by the ETIM's invoice. This lends credence to the suspicion that the documents may have been prepared to cover up the theft after the whistle was blown. B. The payments were made in advance before goods, services, and works were delivered or done, and as at the date of the tabling of the report, some of those goods, services, and works remained undelivered to date. C. Documents that were used to process payments bore the signatures that could not be authenticated. Subsequently, certain officers whose signatures appear in the said documents have denounced the documents. D. The gaps highlighted in the report point to serious governance concerns and weak internal controls in Kericho County, that the appointing authority, that is the governor, policy makers, accounting officers, and indeed all the officers entrusted to deliver services to the county have failed to do as required by law. E, there was an intention to defraud the county and violations of the Constitution 2010, the Public Finance Management Act 2012, the County Governments Act 2012, the Leadership and Integrity Act, the Powers and Privileges County Assemblies Act, the Public Procurement and Asset Disposal Act 2015. 9. Under Article 179 of the Constitution and Section 30, subsection 3F of the County Government Act 2012, the Governor has the overall responsibility of being accountable for the management and use of county resources. 10. It is a matter of public notoriety that when the whistle was blown on these fictitious payments, the Governor, on 26 July 2025, while attending a function at Kamolok village in Cheboin ward, rubbished the claims and called for stern action against the whistleblower. This shows someone who is either unaware of the happenings in the county or was deeply involved in the scandal. 2. Misappropriation of National Agricultural Value Chain Development Project NAVCPD funds. 11. On various dates between the year 2023 and 2025, the Governor has violated the provisions of Articles 10, 183, 201, 207 and 208 of the Constitution and Sections 48 and 159 of the Public Finance Management Act 2012 and Section 30, subsection 3F of the County Government Act 2012 by aiding, abating, condoning and or overseeing the massive looting, pilferage, misappropriation and misallocation of NAVCDP funds amounting to over Kenya shillings 351 million as at 10th June 2025. 12. From the report of the Committee of Agriculture, Livestock and Fisheries and Cooperative Management, Tourism and Wildlife on the implementation status of National Agriculture Value Chain Development Project NAVCDP in Kericho County, tabled in the County Assembly on 6th of August 2025, the County Assembly noted the following discrepancies in the use of the fund. A. The expenditure was used for farmers' cooperative societies, found only in 19 of 30 wards in Kericho County. This implies that the funds that were meant for agripreneurs, whose role was to enumerate farmers and organize them into SACCOs, was not adequately utilized. B. Each ward SACCO was meant to get Kenya shillings 1 million, yet the committee found that out of the 19 SACCOs under the program, only 7 have ever received financial support since the inception of the fund. C. It is further indicated in the report that some SACCO received nominal support in kind in form of office furniture and some farm inputs, while others have never received any support. D. Even those SACCOs and farmer producer organizations which received support in kind did not receive delivery notes when the furniture, computers and other supplies were delivered, and they cannot therefore ascertain the prices, source and therefore quality of what was supplied. E. The procurement of furniture and equipment under the NAVCDP program was conducted centrally with minimal involvement of key stakeholders. This does not only undermine the principle of transparency in procurement, decision-making and lack of ownership, but also created room for pilferage and misappropriation of the fund. 13. The office furniture and equipment supplied under the NAVCDP program are largely of substandard quality. There was therefore no value for money and compliance with the Public Procurement and Asset Disposal Act 2015, particularly Section 124, which obligates the procuring entity to select quality and cost-based selection, QCBS method, as the preferred method to be used to evaluate proposals. 14, the manner in which the few projects which were implemented was done shows that they were done without following the project implementation manual published by the World Bank to guide the implementation of the projects. 15, again, the governor shirked his overall responsibility under Article 179(4) of the Constitution and Section 30, subsection 3F of the County Governments Act 2012 to be accountable for the management and use of county resources. 16, there is evidence that the governor has been ordering withdrawals from the fund for reasons other than those for which the fund was created by the donor. Evidence of this shall be availed at the hearing and consideration of this motion. The mover will as well be asking the Assembly to issue an order under Article 195, Subarticle 2B of the Constitution and Section 27, subsection 1C and subsection 2 of the County Assembly's Powers and Privileges Act 2017, compelling the relevant banks where the funds were drawn from to furnish this House with the bank statements showing the withdrawals of the funds from 2023 to date. 3, misappropriation of funds and unfair distribution of projects under the Financing Locally Led Climate Action, FLOCA Fund. 17, on various dates between the year 2023 and 2025, the governor has violated the provisions of Articles 10, 179, 183, 201, 207, and 208 of the Constitution and Sections 102 and 107 of the Public Finance Management Act 2012 and Section 30, subsection 3F of the County Governments Act 2012 by presiding over unfair, skewed, and nepotic distribution of projects under FLOCA funds, imprudent use, misappropriation, and misallocation of FLOCA funds as follows. A, skewed and unfair distribution of projects under the fund with the governor's home ward, namely Chemosot ward, alone, getting projects worth Kenya shillings 21,701,590, while there are many other wards, not only in other sub-counties, but even in the Bureti sub-county, which have received not a single project under the fund. This nepotically skewed distribution of projects under the fund violates the national values and principles of governance under Article 10 of the Constitution, and in particular, the values of equity, non-discrimination, equality, good governance, integrity, transparency, and accountability, the principles of public finance under Chapter 12 of the Constitution, as well as the provisions of Sections 102 and 107 of the Public Finance Management Act, which enjoins the governor to ensure fiscal responsibility and adherence to the values and principles of the Constitution in the management of the county funds. B, the Joint Committee on Water and Sanitation and Environment, Energy, Forestry and Natural Resources, in their report on the implementation status of FLOCA programs, noted that some projects under the fund, namely Chemomul Water Project in Kabianga, water and environment projects in Seretut, Cheptororiet Ward, Torachtani Cooperative Society Milk Cooling Plant in Kapsaos Ward, Soliat Water Tree Nursery Establishment Project in Soliat Ward, Arndonyo Mare Borehole Water Project and Lelaitich Water Project in Soliat Ward are marked as 100% complete, yet there are either defects in the works, incomplete and substandard works. 18, as a result of this unfair distribution of projects, wards like Cheplanget, Litain, Chaik, Kipchebor, Chilchila and Kunyak did not get even a single project in all the categories under the fund, namely environment, agriculture, and water. 4. Misappropriation of county funds and Equalizer Kazi Mtaani initiative. 19. On or about 31st of August 2023, the governor engaged in gross violation of Articles 10, 183, 201, 207, and 208 of the Constitution and Sections 102, 109, and 110 of the Public Finance Management Act 2012 by launching a program dubbed Equalizer Kazi Mtaani initiative and drawing county funds towards the initiative without a legislation to anchor the initiative, public participation, prior approval of the county assembly and the controller of budget, and prior approval of the budget and appropriation committee's approval. 20. Under the fund, a total of Kenya shillings 39 million were paid without proper tendering, local service orders, and for the services which were not delivered. 20. The county assembly's report on the ad hoc committee on Kazi Mtaani project pointed out various violations of the Constitution and the law in the rolling out and implementation of the initiative. However, the governor deliberately disregarded the report and it has hitherto not been implemented. 22. The deliberate failure, omission, and unwillingness to implement the report of the County Assembly on Equalizer Kazi Mtaani initiative undermines devolution, the doctrine of separation of powers, and is therefore antithetical to the values and principles of governance under Article 10 of the Constitution, the objects of devolution, and under Article 174 of the Constitution. 5. Misappropriation of funds under the Strategic Intervention Projects, SIPs. 23. In various dates during the financial year 24-25, the governor engaged in gross violation of Articles 10, 183, 201, 207, and 208 of the Constitution, and Sections 102, 109, and 110 of the Public Finance Management Act 2012 by overseeing misappropriation of various projects under the Strategic Intervention Projects CIP Fund. 24. For instance, the project for upgrading of Kunyak Dispensary to Health Center, which is a retender project for the construction and renovation of various facilities within the health center by Messrs. Belitra Enterprises Limited for Kenya shillings 44,756,846, a total of Kenya shillings 8,575,186 has been paid for no works done. Indeed, when the County Assembly's Committee on Implementation visited the site, they found that the contractor had only supplied materials, contrary to the Finance Department's report to the Assembly that kitchen and staff house was at walling stage, while the MCH is at slab level. 6. Other violations of the Constitution and the law. 25. The present and former Chief Executive Committee members and chief officers have variously reported coercion by the governor to make financial allocations for the governor's own use from the funds allocated to their respective departments, and which funds they were required to remit through the governor's personal assistants. 26. Violation of Article 201A, D, and E of the Constitution 2010 on principles of public finance, and Article 226 as read with Article 227 of the Constitution by presiding over glaring irregularities evidenced by A. Irregular award of contracts and evasion of accountability, B. Willfully interfering in the procurement processes and the award of tenders, C. Skewed tender awards to various contractors at inflated rates and in collusion with fraudulent contractors and suppliers, D. Irregular implementation and unfair distribution of various programs in the county, E. Intentionally and negligently presiding over massive theft of county public funds, as evidenced by the Auditor General's reports for the preceding financial years, which have raised red flags over various projects. 27. On 15th August 2023, the Governor compensated the victims of Londiani accident from the County Emergency Fund to cover up for the funds raised by the public and misappropriated by a committee he had formed to steer the funds drive, and without a cogent explanation of how the funds publicly raised for the victims had been expended. Allegation number 2, misappropriating and or abetting misappropriation of the funds publicly raised for the victims of Londiani accident. 1. On various dates between 4th July 2023 and 9th July 2023, the Governor grossly violated the provisions of Article 10, 73, and 75 of the Constitution and Sections 29 and 34 of the Leadership and Integrity Act 2012 by A. Overseeing misappropriation of the funds raised for the victims of the horrendous Londiani Junction accident tragedy, in which over Kenya shillings 9 million of public raised funds were lost. B. Reneging on his undertaking to implement the report of the County Assembly's ad hoc committee formed to probe the misappropriation of funds meant for the victims of the accident. There is evidence that the Governor filed a suit and or supported a suit by those implicated in the report of the County Assembly's ad hoc committee in Kericho Employment and Labour Relations Court petition number E006 of 2023, Dr. Wesley Bor and 5 others versus the Governor, Kericho County Government and others, and Kericho ELRC petition number E014 of 2023, Victor Tum and others versus the Governor, Kericho County and others. C. Being personally and directly complicit in the flawed award of direct tenders for service providers during the fundraiser and requiem mass of the victims of the accident. D. The County Governor has in this regard committed numerous and various acts in the course of his duties that are contrary to and in violation of the Constitution and the laws of Kenya. These include: 1. The authenticity of various payments made cannot be confirmed. The fact that the exact amount of money expended from the sum collected during the fundraiser points to impropriety and suggests a clear fraud on those whom the funds ought to have benefited. 2. A total of Kenya shillings 13,682,660 was collected at the fundraiser. A sum of Kenya shillings 423,000 was purportedly expended as pastors' facilitation, transport refund, field preparation, lunches and refreshments, printing, publishing, and radio announcements. Other payments that were approved from the fund were Kericho County Referral Hospital, Kenya shillings 2,037,524, Londiani Hospital, Kenya shillings 1,534,190, Supertix Limited, Kenya shillings 2,945,000, Supershine Limited, Kenya shillings 411,000, Raise Hotel, Kenya shillings 100,000, County Commissioners Fuel, Kenya shillings 300,000. 3. That when Kenyans from all walks of life voluntarily made contributions to aid the victims of the tragedy, it was never intended or anticipated that the funds would be misappropriated with the blessings of the Governor, who had a higher calling to ensure the money is accounted for to the last coin and on whom the people bestowed their trust. 4. The Governor issued contradictory statements insofar as the use of the funds is concerned. The contradictory statements point to his being complicit in the matter. 5. While the Governor is on record indicating that the medical bills for all the victims would be waived and taken care of by the county government, it is clear why money had to be paid out from the fund collected to various public hospitals against the express and unequivocal representations of the Governor. E. By his acts of omission and commission, the governor has grossly violated the provisions of Article 75 of the Constitution, which demands that a state officer shall, whether in private or in public, behave in a manner that avoids conflict of interest between personal interests and public or official interests, or compromises public interest in favor of personal interest. F. By overseeing the misappropriation of the funds aimed at assisting the victims of the accident, the governor violated Article 73 Sub-Article 2, which demands from him selfless service based solely on public interest, demonstrated by honesty in the execution of his duties, accountability to the public for decisions and actions, and discipline and commitment in service. G. By allowing himself to be a master of doublespeak in such a grave matter that shook the conscience of the nation, the governor violated Article 73, Sub-Article A, Roman 2 and 3 of the Constitution, which demand that he at all times demonstrates respect to the people and brings honor and dignity to the office he holds. H. By allowing himself and senior officials close to him to benefit from the funds, the governor violated Article 76, Sub-Article 2B of the Constitution, which prohibits a state officer from accepting a benefit in circumstances that compromise the integrity of the state officer. I. By failing to ensure that decision-making in the executive of the county governor are not influenced by corruption, nepotism, and other callous and improper motives, the governor has failed to exercise objectivity and impartiality, thus violating Article 73, Sub-Article 2B of the Constitution of Kenya 2010. Ground 2, abuse of office. The particulars of this ground are as follows. Allegation 1, illegal appointments, unlawful dismissals and transfers, and usurpation of the constitutional and statutory functions of county public service. The governor has variously engaged in 1, gross misconduct, and 2, gross violations of Articles 10, 73, 75, 232, 235, and 236 of the Constitution. 3, gross violations of Section 17 of the Public Officer Ethics Act, Sections 55, 59, 59A, 60, 62, 63, 64, and 65 of the County Governments Act, Section 4 of the Public Appointments County Assemblies Approval Act 2017, and variously abused his office by A. skewed, uncompetitive, and nepotic appointments of the county employees of various cadres. For instance, the governor recently hired his own brother, one Victor Mutai, as a revenue clerk. Similarly, the governor's personal assistant's wife, one Chepkirui Mercy,